Hi everybody, this is third species. Again, the same cantus firmus, and as you know that for your assignments you have a different cantus firmus there, which is most of them it's for the Ave Maris Stella. This one is just made up, but it's the same one we have been using for the first and second species. So third species is four notes against each note of the cantus firmus. So third species is four notes against one. That means if you are using half notes, whole notes in the bass line, you're going to use quarter notes in the other voice, which may be the top voice or the bottom voice. We are using this in the most of them in the top voice. And also, just like second species, you can begin in the with a rest, with a quarter note rest, and that's what we're gonna do. And begin always with a perfect consonance, either a fifth or an octave. In this species, it's very common to use long sections in scale movement or in stepwise movement. So you can exercise can use that type of motion in add some variety. Once in a while you can have a step or a fifth or even an octave, and compensate that in opposite direction. Now, just like we had since the beginning when we were doing the cantus firmus melodies, remember that let me create another measure here for that. Remember that motions like this, doing a sequence of scale and then suddenly a step and then continuous scale is not possible. You know, either you use a scalar movement or you use steps, and when you use skips, and when you use a skip, using an opposite direction and then compensate that. For example, a situation like that, but not in the same direction. So if you're going in the same direction, either use a scale or you change direction with the skip, but not like this, having a missing note in the middle like that. So don't use that. Another thing is that after you have a succession of ascending steps, you do a skip in that same direction. Even if you change direction, it's not very interesting. So doing like this is not very typical of the period. More typical will be the skip on a different direction like this. If you are beginning the scale ascending with the steps. If you are beginning a scale descending with the steps, is the opposite. You can do things like this, scale and then a skip. It's possible, and then you change direction. This is fine, but you cannot begin with a skip and then doing steps. So is this the opposite as when you are doing with ascending movement? So in ascending movement, then is first the steps, first the skip, and then the steps. And in descending movement is first the steps, and then you can have a longer skip, a fifth, even a fifth. But just after each one of those skips, you change direction. So let's begin then. I can go all the way there in the scale, and that creates some dissonances there, which are fine if they are passing tones or if they are upper or lower neighbors. In this case here, let me mark them. This is a passing tone. Let me add another passing tone here. And let's see if I can go all the way there. I could go there, but maybe I do like this. And then reaching that high pitch there. Let's see the intervals and what I did in terms of dissonances. So this is This is a passing tone, and then after that you have a sixth, and then here a third, a fourth, a passing tone ascending. Not so much a problem now with quarter notes as they were in the second species when you have the quarter notes, half notes. And this one is a fifth, and then a third again, and then here a third, fourth, which is a passing tone, and then a fifth, and then a sixth, and then an octave. Now there is, so remember the dissonances you can use as passing tones or as lower or upper or lower neighbors. For example, here imagine I'm not going to do that because I want to do something different here, but you can, upper neighbor will be like this. That's your upper neighbor, that G, upper neighbor. Lower neighbor will be like this. So that's your lower neighbor, E, and as a seventh in relation to the F. Now imagine you have a situation like this. So far it will be wrong, right? Because after this dissonance, the seventh, I gave you as a fifth, which is a consonance. However, this is the only place in which technically wrong is actually correct, because this is a specific motion that is called cambiata. Let me write this down here. So cambiata means a switched note, cambiare. So you are switching the notes. Which notes I'm switching? I'm switching the C with the D, because the regular motion after that dissonance, let me mark the dissonance, not that, is this sign here. After this dissonance, I had to have a D after, so it's a passing tone, right? So this will be the regular motion for that. However, the theorists, they found it was nice, it was interesting to do this switching, those two notes, a switching position. And that's what they call cambiata. So it's an octave followed by a seventh, and the seventh goes to a fifth, and then a sixth. So this is possible. And that's the only possibility when the bass line is, when the counterpoint is in the top voice. When the counterpoint is in the lower voice, is a different arrangement of intervals. There'll be a third, a fourth, and then a sixth, and then a fifth in the lower voices. But let's keep going. So this is possible, and I'm using it right now. Now let's go to. Now I want to do another scale. Let's try. Let's see how far I can. No, I cannot go all the way there because it's an F and there's an E in the bass. Maybe I stop right here and do this thing. Okay, so let's check what I have in terms of dissonances so far. This is a fifth, an octave. Here is a second, a third, and here is a third, fourth, fifth, back to a third, and a skip, all consonances, to a octave. And from that octave, going down maybe. And now it's time to think of the ending. So the ending is going to be a whole note here. Let me just erase those attempts. So that's my ending there. There's nothing else after that. And my ending with the ending, you can use 4 quarter notes, you can use 2 quarter notes and 1 half note, or you can use 2 half notes. So it's some type of arrangement there, just like in the beginning. And the reason to do that is like creating a kind of a break or a the sensation of a rallentando or retardando by changing the note values. Now, if I go all the way here to A then, and try to join that figure, I'll have to go up to F to yeah. Let's see if everything's correct. Here is an octave, a seventh, which is the passing tone, a sixth, a fifth, and then a third, an octave, seventh, sixth, sixth, and a fifth, and then here I can add, remember the leading tone. This is yeah. Let's listen how this sounds. So if I did that in the beginning, this is also possible, but it's and you find both ways. I find more. I think it's more interesting to leave it to the very last note rather than the measure. But this would also be possible. It's a major 6 there. See which one you prefer. Yeah, maybe this one sounds more modern, more late Renaissance, Baroque even, and this one sounds more like late Middle Ages or early Renaissance. I like this one better, but it's both ways are possible. And then here it was third species counterpoint, so you can finish your assignment then, which is based on the Ave Maria Stella. See you.